Hi everyone, and welcome to this deck profile video. In this video I'm going to show you my Fluffal Hecahands deck. First of all, we have the Field Center card. I have this Judge Field Center card that is very cool. It has a very nice golden shine to it, so I like it a lot. But now let's go right into the deck. So this deck is a mix of Fluffal and Hecahands monsters. So I'm going to be showing you first the monsters in my deck, and parallel I'm going to be showing you the monsters in my extra deck, and you'll see why. So Fluffal monsters are these super cute plush-like animals. We have Fluffal Leo, one copy of Fluffal Sheep, one copy of Fluffal Dolphin, one copy of Fluffal Wings, one copy of Fluffal Owl. So these 5 cards are just one copy each. They do very specific things, but pretty much what you want to do is to have the Fluffals fusion with the Edge Imp. So the Edge Imp are the other type of monster in the Fluffal deck, which are like these fiend entities that are demons possessing tools. You can see this is a scythe, this is a saw, this is a chain, these are scissors. So when the Fluffals, super cute plushies, fusion with these possessed tools, they become the Frightfurs. And these are the Frightfurs. We have Frightfur Tiger, we have Frightfur Leo, Frightfur Kraken, and you can see here, this one has sabers. So this is a scissor. Frightfur Tiger has sabers in its body. You can also see, for example, Frightfur Leo has the saw. You can see that it has those blades on its head, and so on. So you want to fusion the Fluffals with the Edge Imps. And how do you do that? So what these cards do is pretty much giving you access to the Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is the most important Fluffal spell. It's a continuous spell that once per turn you can discard one card, draw one card and show it. Then, if it is a Fluffal monster, you can special summon one monster from your hand. It can be any monster, it doesn't need to be the Fluffal monster that you showed. And some of these Edge Imp monsters do things in graveyard. So yeah, the goal is to get polymerization, fusion the monsters, and then get the Frightfurs. But we will get more into that later. So we have one copy of these 5 monsters. Out of these monsters, these 4, Sheep, Owl, Dolphin, and Wings, are actually useful. Fluffal Leo is not very strong, but it is my favorite non-blue eyes card. It is my favorite Fluffal. I think it is super cute. I love the art. And Fluffal Leo actually shows in many of the Fluffal cards, for example, Frightfur Patchwork. And yes, there are other Fluffal spells that I don't use in this deck. I own them, but I don't use them. One copy of each of these monsters. Then we have 3 copies of Fluffal Leo. What Fluffal Leo does is that if you summon it, you get one more Fluffal or Edge Imp to your hand. So that is very useful. Then we have 2 copies of Penguin and 3 copies of Bear. So yeah, these monsters, we have more copies because they give you access to other cards that are important for this deck. But yes, so this is it for the Fluffals. You can read what these cards do at your own pace online and then see which cards you want to use for your deck, but at least this is how I have it. So 3 copies of Fluffal Dog, 2 of Penguin, and 3 of Fluffal Bear. Okay, next we go to the Edge Imps. Here is my favorite Edge Imp. We have 3 copies of Edge Imp Scythe. Soon I'll tell you why this is my favorite. 1 copy of Saw, 2 copies of Chain, 1 copy of Sabers. Now, here is where the Frightfurs come in. So, Scythe is a very good card. So, this card, during your opponent's turn, you reveal this card and a Fluffal monster. And then you can special summon or fusion summon one of the Frightfurs to the field. And let's say your opponent summons, I don't know, if you're playing against Blue Eyes, your opponent summons Sage or Maiden or Blue Eyes, whatever they can summon. And in the middle of that summoning, you reveal this, and then let's say you reveal Ship, you fusion this, and then you fusion summon Whale. You don't need polymerization to do this. This is this card's effect. It just fusions itself from the hand in your opponent's main phase with another Fluffal, and you get a Frightfur monster. And what Whale does is that as soon as it is fusion summoned, it destroys a card. And also during battle phase, during the damage calculation, or just quick effect whenever you want, but it increases its attack by throwing another Frightfur card to the graveyard. So, for example, they attack your Whale, and then you throw Frightfur Daredevil. So instead of being a 2600 monster, now it's a 4100 monster. And then probably your opponent's monster is going to be destroyed. But yeah, it depends how strong the monster is, of course. But yeah, if a Blue Eyes Vanilla 3000 attacks this card, and then you use the effect, and you throw this to the graveyard, then the Blue Eyes will be destroyed. So yeah, Frightfur Whale is very useful. The destruction is very good. That effect to increase attack is very good. So I run with 2 copies, and it has worked very well. But yes, that is what Scythe does. So you want 3 copies of that. When it comes to Saw, this card is actually one of the least powerful Edge Imps, but I run it because I run Frightfur Leo, and Frightfur Leo requires the Saw. Another Frightfur that requires a specific Edge Imp is Frightfur Tiger. Frightfur Tiger requires Sabers. So that's why I also run 1 copy of Sabers. Although Sabers is also very good, because if it is in the graveyard, you can place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck, and then special summon this card in defense position. And you remember we were talking about Toy Vendor before, and what does Toy Vendor do? Draw 1 card and show it. If it is a Fluffal monster, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. So you have this in the graveyard, you place a Fluffal monster on top of your deck, this one gets special summon defense position, use Toy Vendor, draw a card, it is a Fluffal monster, and now you can special summon a monster from your hand. So this is how this combo works, and I like it a lot. I think it is a fun card to have on the field and use that effect. Besides that, we have 2 copies of Edge Imp Chain. So when this card declares an attack, you can add another of Edge Imp, but you rarely do that because this card is not very strong. The important thing here is that if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. So you can use this as cost for many things. For example, super polymerization. We will get to that as well. You can also use it as cost for fusion. And then you get access to Frightfur Repair, Frightfur Patchwork, and other Frightfur cards that I don't have in this deck. But yeah, so this card is very good to just send as cost. And that's it for the Frightfur, for the Edge Imp monsters. So yes, 3 copies of Scythe, 1 copy of Saw, 1 copy of Sabers, and 2 Edge Imp Chains. Before we move on to the spells and traps, let me finish telling you about the Frightfurs that I have in the extra deck. So as I said before, 2 copies of Whale, best Frightfur fusion card. Then we have Tiger. So just Tiger is worth having Sabers in your deck. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon and destroy them. So for this card you need 1 Edge Imp Sabers, as I said before, the Scissor. And then let's say you fusion the Scissor, the Ship, and a Bear. And now you have 3 materials. And those 3 materials are 3 cards that you can destroy on your opponent's field. So that's very strong. So you want Tiger. Frightfur Leo. To be honest, I mostly have Frightfur Leo because I like that it is Fluffal Leo's Frightfur monster. And then 1 copy of Kraken and 1 copy of Daredevil. Daredevil is perhaps not that good, but because the attack is 3000, it is a very good target for the whale's special effect, because for the whale, to increase the attack, you need to send a Frightfur monster. It cannot just be any monster from the extra deck. It needs to be a Frightfur, and as you can see, and we will get to that later as well, Frightfurs are not that strong. There is no one that goes 3000 or more except Daredevil. Kraken is very good as well, but yes, you can take your time and read these cards on your own later. Otherwise the video is gonna get too long. Those are the Frightfur monsters. Now, when it comes to the spells, we have 2 polymerization and we have 2 super polymerization. So this one is just, it is both useful for the Frightfurs and for the Hecahands, but I also have this card because part of this deck we have Garura and we have Mondragon of the Swamp. So those are targets to remove monsters from your opponent's side. That's mostly why I carry these, but I mean, in a specific situation, you can also use them for the Hecahands or for the Frightfurs. Then we continue with the spells. We have Toy Vendor, 3 copies of Toy Vendor. We have 2 copies of Frightfur Repair. What this does is that you can target one Frightfur fusion monster in your graveyard, you return it to the extra deck, and then you can special summon a Fluffal or Etching monster from your graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Fluffal or Etching monster from your hand. So this one is a bit like, it depends on what is going on in the duel. It can be really, really good or it can be completely useless. So it really depends. And then we have 3 copies of Frightfur Patchwork. And this one is very, very good in an opening hand. And for some reason, I have been very lucky when I play this deck and I'm always getting this in my opening hand. So you add 1 Etching monster and 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. So 3 copies of Patchwork, 2 copies of Repair, and 3 copies of Vendor. So now we are done with the Fluffal and Etch-in part of the deck. Now we go into the next part of the deck, the next engine, which is Hecahands. I love Hecahands. It works really, really well with the Fluffals and the Etch-ins. So we have 2 copies of Yadel, 2 copies of Ibtel. Ibtel goes back to the deck and then it allows you to summon in defense position a Hecahands monster from the deck. Yadel goes back into the deck and then it searches you for Hecahands spell or trap. So targets for Ibtel, we have Godos, we have Breus, we have Gaigas. So here are the big, big monsters from Hecahands, and this is what you want on your field to steal your monster, your opponent's monsters. And with Yadel, the target is always the Hidden Hecahands, the best Hecahands spell, and Hecahands, Hidden Hecahands gets you access to Ival and Jadal. So steals an opponent's monster that is trying to activate an effect and steals a spell or trap. So you negate monster or negate the spell or trap, send it to the graveyard, and then you get it to your field. So really, really good cards. That's it for the Hecahands monsters, and this is it for the Hecahands spells and traps. But we have the Hecahands fusion monsters. So these are also really good. We have Xeno. Xeno requires 3 Hecahands, so this is a bit heavy. I haven't been able to get it out yet because it requires 3 monsters, and it is hard for me to get 3 Hecahands, but someday maybe. This steals monsters from your opponent's extra decks, or it can also steal all of your opponent's monsters. It's really, really good. Then you have Dandalos and Jausa. So Jausa, it can be special summoned to the field by tributing a Hecahands monster. Let's say that you have, where are my Hecahands? Here. Let's say you have Breus on the field, you use one of the Hecahands effects and you steal your opponent's monster, you tribute these 2 and then you get Jausa. That's really good. And we have 1 copy of Dandalos as well. Well, besides the Hecahands fusions, we have Guardian Chimera. This one is mostly to get me out of some situations, so it has been very, very helpful my heroes in some duels when I have needed it. And for the other last 3 monsters from the extra deck, we have IP Masquerena and Little Knight. They don't need an introduction, and Typhoon. So that's it for the extra deck. It works very well. And then we have the last 3 spells. Fusion Recycling Plant. I got this one from the Kaiba box that is like 9 years old by now. I have actually just re-added it recently to my deck. I have never been able to use it, but pretty much what this does is that you discard 1 card and then you can recover one of the fusion materials. No, sorry, you discard 1 card and then you add 1 polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then once per turn, during the end phase, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard that was used as a fusion material for a fusion summon this turn, and then you add it to your hand. So for example, if you want to use Edge Imp Scythe, let's say you open your hand, discard, polymerization, and 2 Fluffals. Let's say that you use polymerization, but first you place Fusion Recycling Plant on the field, and then you use polymerization, you summon these cards, and then you get, well, I don't know, whatever, Daredevil. Let's say you keep this one in your hand. You use these 2 to get Daredevil out. Now you have a 3000 monster on the field, and then you send all of this to the graveyard. End of the turn, you add Scythe to your hand, and then beginning of next turn, and now you have your quick effect for your opponent's turn to destroy something. So as I said, I haven't still used this card, but I can imagine how you can use it, and I think it can be very good. And then you have 2 copies of Spell Card Monster Reborn, one in German and one in English. And this card is a quick spell, so you can use it on your turn or you can use it on your opponent's turn to steal a monster. Not only is that very good for the Hecahands deck, but it also allows you to steal your opponent's monsters from the graveyard, so very, very good card to have. One more card, Nightmare Apprentice. I just got this one and just added it to the deck, so I haven't tested it yet. But by special summoning this card, you discard 1 card. Let's say you use one of the Edge Imp Chain, discard 1 card, special summon it to the field. Now it allows you to search for another illusion monster. You search for Iptel. Iptel gives you access to Godos, steal an opponent's monster. Now you have 2 monsters on the field, and there is a Hecahands monster, Yausa, for example, Hecahands monster plus illusion monster. So now you have Hecahands monster, Apprentice, and your opponent's stolen monster, let's say this one. So you can summon Yausa by having 1 Hecahands monster and a monster your opponent controls. So you tribute these 2 and special summon this, or you can keep this one and then use polymerization to summon with these 2. So yeah, it gives you access to a lot of things. That's why I decided to add this card, and I also saw a Hecahands deck in Master Duel that was using this card, so I think it will work very well. Finally, we have staples. We have 3 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Veiler, and 3 copies of Warning Point. Warning Point is a card that has been recommended to me a lot, but I don't know how to use it because I am not that familiar with other decks. So now when I'm playing a bit more, trying to learn other decks, I'm slowly starting to understand when to use this card. So for tournaments and bigger events where I really want to win, I can't use this card because I don't know what to play against. But my Fluffal Hecahands deck is a Funsis deck, so I can just use this one, test it out and see how it goes, try to learn what monsters this card is good against. So before this I had a Forbidden Droplet instead of Warning Point, but it wasn't working very well. Why? Because once I have monsters on the field or spells, it took me a lot of resources to get those monsters there. And that is one of the weakest points of this deck. So throwing my cards as cost for Forbidden Droplet was not working well for me. It removed my materials, and maybe for some decks it works well. Unfortunately, not for me. For example, Sky Striker Mitsurugi can benefit from having a lot of the cards in the graveyard, but for this deck, unfortunately, it is much harder. So I changed it now, Forbidden Droplet for Warning Point. And yes, let me tell you a bit of the weaknesses of this deck. So this deck is very cute. As I said, I really like the Fluffals. I think they're adorable. However, I mean, these cards are not strong at all, but unfortunately, the Frightfurs are also not very strong. I mean, the whale has a quick effect, but it is just a quick effect. It is not permanently increased. So that is a bad thing about this deck, that you can leave a field, but it is not going to be strong. Most other decks can go over it with not even that strong attack. And also, I'm still learning the deck, so I have been misplaying a lot, but it is a really fun deck to play. The cards are beautiful, they work very well with each other. The Hecahands, somehow, I can't explain it well, but it just works very well with the Fluffal H-Imp deck, and I am very happy about this combination. And the original recipe was sent to me by my friend Alvarito. He not only sent me the recipe, but he also sent me, this is a collector's rare H-Imp chain, and he sent it to me when I was in Mexico. So you can see this card is really beautiful. I did an unboxing when I received his package. It's somewhere in the channel, sometime in February, I think. And yes, so I wanted to play Fluffal because, as I said, Fluffal Leo is my favorite card that is not Blue Eyes. I have it in my wallet at all times with me. So I have this super cute, sparkly Fluffal Leo. There you can see the stars. So this is a special rarity that is discontinued now, but it makes cards look really cute. And I have a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon in Spanish in my wallet at all times. So Fluffal Leo and Blue Eyes are my favorite monsters, and playing Fluffal Leo in a deck is very nice. So yeah, this was my deck profile. I hope that you guys like it. This is a deck for funsies. It is not gonna win any tournaments, but you never know. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!